Hi guys, hope you're all well. November blessings. So I'm just coming on as ever to do our tarot scope for the month ahead, for the month of November. I hope that you guys had a magical Halloween and Samhain festival sort of period. If you're able to sort of do something fabulous, fantastic. And hopefully you might have felt the love, the honouring of the ancestors around you, because even like now, today, and for the next few days, that veil between the worlds is going to stay quite thin. So you will still experience connection with loved ones that have passed over, your guides, all of these great people will still be wanting to work very much and standing very much with you, standing very much by your side. So embrace their love as and when you feel them. So as ever, I've got my trusty tarot cards ready. So we're going to find out what guidance we need to know about for November time, things to be aware of, guidance to be given, a stop, start and a continue. I know obviously a lot of people are already starting to panic about the realisation of having to go back into a lockdown on Thursday. I've been able to pretty much reschedule my diary, so all of the people that I would have seen throughout last week, I've certainly been able to sort of get all of those booked in pretty much back-to-back slots, so that I can at least see those. Anybody that's booked with me for slightly later on in November, I'll be contacting you in due course to look at what we can do, either date changes or various options that might become available. So bear with me on that. Quick shout out to those that were going to see me at the Brook House Inn in Castle Kerry. That has been redated to the 6th of December, so any deposits that have been paid, Lynn is going to just transfer that straight over. If in doubt, you can contact the pub direct because Lynn is dealing with the bookings, so it will have to go via her rather than myself. So get onto her, but I will be putting up some information about that later on today or tomorrow. Right then guys, let's get back into the task in hand. So stop, start and continue for November. Something we've got to stop doing. What do the cards want us to know? I think the other thing, and something I found last night when I was doing my own sort of Halloween ritual, and I've had for the last few days, is we've got to stay grounded, you know. We're all in this together, and it's almost like the spirit world are really saying to me, let's not let history repeat itself. So already we've got the panic buying, all the silliness of like what we went through last time, and we don't learn from experience, and you can't help sometimes but wonder, is this a reason, is this a factor as to why this COVID stuff isn't going away? Because actually, whether you believe its existence or not is kind of irrelevant. We all have our part to play. And, you know, like when I went on a dog walk the other day with Oscar, the amount of masks and just general rubbish that's just chucked away freely in bushes and trees, and you think, you know, as a collective, have we taken nothing from this year? Where's our mental mind at? And you can't help but wonder, is this why the earth is still putting us through this on some level? Because perhaps she wants us to realise on a bigger picture, you know, what actually we need to change with our own behaviour. And I really do feel that quite strong. You know, whether you feel that this COVID has come about through a conspiracy, or whether you think it's more become, you know, around in the world through natural causes, it really doesn't matter its origins and its roots. What matters is trying to actually get life back to some normality. So if you're somebody that is dumping crap in the bushes, the trees, littering and things like that, check in with your mental mind, you know. And I just don't know, it pisses me off, you know. Sorry, I've gone on a tangent here, I'm having a bit of a rant now, but it kind of does really, really piss me off, because you think, just have we not learned anything? You know, the earth had that beautiful opportunity back in the March, April and May time to heal, and was doing it, and I was really sort of hopeful that we would all come out better people, but it doesn't seem to have necessarily been the case there, you know. And this is, I think, as well, why the cards aren't giving me anything at the moment. They're just going around and around and around, and that's perhaps how we all feel at this immediate moment in time. And I think until that lesson is learnt, only then can we all move forward individually, but kind of collectively as well. So really, oh, there we go, there's one. So, you know, really look at what we've actually, I knew that card was going to come out, it's made me proper laugh. It's just really important to start honouring the energy of the earth. Now, if you ever wanted synchronicity, when you see what that card is, you will laugh. So I know that my ramblings hold, in some format, a bit of value at least. Okay, so we've got our stop. I'm asking for a start card now. There we go. Okay. And a continue card, something we've got to continue doing. Do you know when you're getting fat? Because in this video my cheeks are looking so rosy, and I'm not feeling particularly hot. I think it's just that they're puffing out. Oh, I've got to do something about that. That's the only downside when you do these sort of videos. I'm trying not to be vain or anything, but like when you sometimes look better in videos than others, and I don't look particularly great today. I'm not hungover, but it was a late night last night, so yeah, spooky sort of madness down in the witch's cellar here. Right, I'm asking for a continue card. Oh, okay, there we go. This is a very clear message for us, guys, and I think it's a really strong message for us. So the stop card that sort of threw itself at me when I was sort of doing my little bit of rambling there. The world. You guessed it, we're in lockdown, we're going to be going into lockdown. The world is going to slow down, the world is going to stop. What I basically just said about Mother Earth needing to sort of re-invite her lesson, her message for us that perhaps we haven't learned before, I feel is really what this is saying. The world needs to once more heal, because us as a human race, as a collective, we're failing big time. You know, we're really failing the energy of the planet, and I think maybe we're being put into these positions so to remind us that actually Mother Earth, the world, she runs the show here. You know, we are actually guests on this earth, and it's our job, it's our duty to actually all work as best as we can in some sort of balance and in some sort of harmony. And it might be as basic as, instead of slinging off your face mask, you know, going down the street, hold it and put it in your bin. That's a small thing we can do, but it's a no-brainer, isn't it? You know, the social distancing where we're going out in Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, wherever you shop to, you know, actually start to implicate the procedures, the things that are being put in place. Don't get shitty with people, don't get shitty with staff. They're only doing their job, you know. So let's try and really work as a collective to help the world heal, but also so that eventually we'll all be able to embrace the best of what the world has to offer. So this is why we're being sort of forced, you might feel it as being forced, but we're being put back into this position of lockdown. We're not learning from our mistakes, we're not learning from our history, and the world is having to show us these lessons. The nature spirits, the nature elements are having to show us these lessons, because as people, we're tunnel visioned. You know, we're getting, some of us are getting really tunnel visioned by this, and it's needing to sort of just embrace the reality, the bigger picture of what is going on at the moment, okay? So don't fear what the world has to present to you. Don't fear the energy of lockdown. Embrace it. Use it as a grounding. Use it as a resting space. As the earth once more has to heal, she's encouraging, she's needing all of us individually to heal. And healing is a process that is lifelong. It's something that we will always have within our lifetime, something we will always carry. You know, you don't wake up one day and you're healed, completely free from your hurts, your restrictions, your limitations, your burdens, whatever you're up against. But the triggers don't hold the same power, the same value. They don't allow us to sort of dictate in the same way. We can overcome the thought pattern. Hold on, I need to have a swig of drink. It's getting me very vocal, and I could just feel my throat was tingling there. We need to realise that we can overcome any trigger that we're up against, you know. It's all about mindset. So the world is needing us to stop being arseholes, stop taking, you know, the planet for granted, and remembering that we all have to share, we all have to work together in space and harmony to get through the mission of this year, the mission of what is needed. But that is the frustrating thing. If everybody actually stepped up and played their part, you know, regardless of beliefs about, you know, how COVID has come into the world and all the rest of it, we would achieve the end goal. If you sort of think, when you're sort of, if you've ever worked in retail, particularly target-driven retail, there's always like a mission statement, and the mission statement here needs to sort of be, the earth needs to rest. She needs to take some sort of recharge from the garbage that we've put her through, the literal garbage that's being dumped around on the earth, but the behaviour, the energy lines, you know, people are being so hostile to everybody, and we're missing that vibration, that frequency of unconditional love. And love is the most simplest way to heal from any past trauma, from any experience. And sometimes it's bloody hard to do. You know, I've been up in a situation recently where I've had to send a few people and behaviours, send them unconditional love, and it's bloody hard, you know. Particularly as the human side of me wants to scream and shout at them, even though I know that won't get anybody anywhere. So I've really worked hard on trying to do that these last few sort of days, or last few weeks actually, sending these people that I feel have failed me unconditional love. And it's been hard to do, but I don't want to carry hurt. I don't want to carry resentments for them, for myself. I don't want to be in that space, you know. So stop and acknowledge the healing lines. They may be things from really, really sort of past times that keep coming up. This may be something more recent. Wherever it sits, wherever it is for you, stop denying yourself the opportunity to embrace unconditional love for yourself, to send it out freely to where it's needed, because that is how the world will heal. If we keep sending fear, if we keep sending hatred, if we keep sending hurt out into the world, that is just going to amplify, and our world is going to become more chaotic, more destructive than ever before, you know. And we might all have a fire, we might all have a passion within our soul of how we perceive the situation to be, but focus on the mission statement, focus on the bigger picture. Stop feeling like you're personally being sabotaged, like you're the victim in this, and that the universe is punishing you. The universe is punishing none of us. The universe is screaming to be healed so we can live our best life and embrace the best of what the world wants to offer. So in short, with this card, stop being an asshole if that's maybe a behaviour that you're carrying, but certainly stop fearing things and just go with the flow. And yes, we're all up against financial changes which do scare us, which are scary to go through, but this is about now really tapping into your spiritual presence. The world as we once knew it will never be the same again, you know, but the world has also been through many types of virus plagues in the past. Think of the Black Death, the rife of that. But eventually, as time goes on, you know, it levels back out. The world will get through this, and some of us will stay to see that, and some of us will transition because we perhaps weren't strong enough to give the universe, the world, the vibrations that we need to be on. So it's really something to look into and think about now. Okay, so moving on from that, we've got our start card, the Chariot. This is about moving forward. So it's about learning that cycle, that lesson, carrying that in your personal world. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. If you're doing your bit, that will be like a ripple effect, and it will spill over to everybody else. But everybody's got to be on the same page, moving away from the black and white energy, from the restrictions, from the problems, from the physical aspects we're up against. The Chariot wants to just move forward into a much more positive, a much more comfortable space and time. And this is really what this card is offering. We've got to start moving forward on a grand sort of, collective energy, but on an individual energy as well. So if you're someone that hasn't sort of used the time in the past of this year in the ways you needed to, this is your time to start sorting your shit out, basically, in a nutshell. Whatever way it is, it might be on a small scale, it might be on a much larger scale, but use this time to your advantage, so when eventually lockdown is released and we can go back to some sort of normality, the Chariot can get going full pelt, full speed. So if it's that relationship you've been holding back on, go for it. If it's a career that you want to put in place, use this time to do the additional learnings or the research of whatever you might be up against or needing to do. However small or big the things are, use the time wisely. If perhaps you're redecorating or doing up a home to perhaps sell or to rent or whatever, use this time for renovation. Use this time as is needed. And it doesn't mean that you have to run around and be a busy fool. It might be that to move forward, like with the first card of the World, you need to just accept the self-healing. You need to just rest. And if that's where you need to be, if that's what you need to do it. But don't kid yourself, because the Chariot wants to sort of drive you forward into something much more positive, much more purposeful within your life. But it's about giving yourself permission to get there. Now the Continue card, and this is what made me laugh a little bit, we've got the Four of Pentacles. So as some of you guys know, those that are self-employed particularly, there is going to be another furlough scheme coming out in the next couple of days, or I think it's the next couple of weeks. And there's probably going to be various other packages put together. We're all in this together, okay? Finances for some of us might be a little bit restricted. We might have to hold on to the pennies a little bit more freely than we would have done before. But hey, we survived it once. We can survive it again. The power of positive mind is really going to be key to your personal success, okay? Don't fear the energy of money. Money is just an energy line of its own. Embrace it. See the bigger picture. You can tame the beast here, okay? So don't fear the financial complications or the changes that some of you may be forced into or put under. For some of you, you might have used your money in a much more sort of rewarding way anyway, so you might still have some backup funding, which is fantastic if you've got that. This is the time to be using it if that's the case. But also, you can still support each other. Let's really look at our friends, our businesses. If you know that there are people that sort of craft things and do things, particularly with Christmas coming up for those that might celebrate. For some of us, Christmas will be restrictive this year. But it's not about monetary things. It's about quality of heart centre. So it's really, really important to support each other as much as we can here. So if you know that there are self-employed businesses that need your input to survive, buy from them as opposed to something that's mass produced, if you're able to. And you might not always be able to, but where possible, let's really try and work as a team and help each other. But also, be aware of your own financial state of play and just know that things will improve. This is about continuing, so it's not saying everything is down and out. It's the realisation that November, being that we are going to be in lockdown, and for some of us we're probably not going to have the same revenue coming in, money is going to be something we have to watch out for. But she's still in control. Nothing is broken, nothing is damaged. She just has a heightened awareness at the moment than she would have before. So that's really what we've got to be mindful of with November time, okay? So that's our Continue card. So quite a poignant message there. Now, as ever, I'm going to sort of finish off with a beautiful Witch's Rune to sort of see what our overall theme for November is. And it might seem like it's quite sort of tunnel visioned about lockdown, but actually there's a lot more layers to that. So if you look deeper at the message I've said there, lockdown is the perhaps face of it, the staging of stuff, but then strip back past that, it's almost like if this was like a show. Lockdown is the show itself, but pull back, see the characters, see the situations going on behind the stage, and you will find you get a lot more information, and that's what those cards are actually revealing. Okay, this is coming out for us. Yeah. So we've got the Star coming out. So the Star is all about hope, it's about dreams, wishes, realizations, even in times of complete darkness. If you think of like the wise men in sort of, you know, biblical times, they would have always sort of used the star as a compass to guide them into a much more positive space and time. We all carry the energy of stardust within us. You know, we're all made up of stardust energy, we're made up of light. So use your own personal light, your own personal magic, your own personal power. Use it to overcome any darkness that November might offer you, and you'll find that your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, they can all be obtained, they can all become reality. You just have to believe. Believing is the most important part, because without belief we can never obtain what the star wants to gift us. But as soon as we have that realization of belief that yes, I'm entitled to receive this, the star can deliver. Okay, so this is your personal power, your personal magic, your own personal heart center is going to be the torch through perhaps what could be times of restriction or darkness. That will be the thing that carries you forward. We all possess that, okay, but not everybody taps into it. So you're going to leave the power of this rune with you. You're going to leave the energy of the cards. I can't talk today. Stay safe, stay well, have a magical November. And you know what? We have opportunities. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. And this is really what this rune is saying. Light can still be within your world. Use it to have that rest that you've not been giving yourself. Use it to do all these other things that you need to do. But be gentle on yourself. And when you get through a day, whether it's good or bad, celebrate what that day has offered you, okay? Mind over matter this month, guys. Stay focused. Big loves, much love and blessings, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye for now.